There are moments in our lives where our body knows before our mind can explain it. My earliest memory is a moment like that. I'm 4, and I'm sitting in a speedboat on the middle of a lake. It's a beautiful summer day, and my dad walks over and he picks me up with a big smile on his face. Suddenly, my heart starts racing. I've got a pit in my stomach. No, Dad, stop! I scream. And he smiles and he laughs and he tosses me overboard. I don't know how to swim, but fight my way back to the boat. And when he pulls me in, I'm so confused. Why doesn't my voice matter? My father, psychologically and literally, threw me overboard throughout my childhood. Like the time he sat me down with my siblings when I was 13. God has revealed to me that your mother is going to die, he said. My mother is going to die? She wasn't sick. And there was more. After your mother dies, it's God's will I marry Sarah. She's going to be your new stepmom. Sarah was my babysitter. She was 19 years old. And I believed him. The good news is, my mom didn't die. She's still with us today, and she's doing great. Couldn't be better. But that didn't stop my dad. Oh no, he was the most determined man I ever knew. So there I was, 1 year later, wearing the ugliest lavender bridesmaid dress you ever saw, watching my father marry my babysitter. I smiled for the family picture, sitting next to his child bride. But inside, the trauma and the confusion and the shame was in my body, seething and hidden and silent. And for years I wondered, why did I believe him? Why did I fall for his delusion? Why did I go along with this madness? But the truth is, I was trapped. From that young age, I had learned that I needed to keep my voice down to stay safe. I was doing exactly what trauma and our culture condition us to do: disconnect from my body to survive and succeed. And this pattern, it doesn't just impact us personally. It shows up in our relationships and in the way we lead. See, when your body is sending you signals that danger is present, but you're powerless to act, the body makes a brilliant compromise. You feel less. The amygdala goes into overdrive, stress hormones spike, higher reasoning weakens, and our nervous system shut down, which means we literally go numb. My brain had been trained from the first time I was on that boat to ignore my body's warning signals. So over time, they showed up as barely a whisper, and I missed them. Trauma disconnects the mind from the body, and when that connection breaks, we lose the most important puzzle piece we have: our humanity. And humanity and leaders without humanity are dangerous, because disconnected leaders make decisions without understanding the human cost. Unfortunately, my experience is common. The World Health Organization reports that 70% of us have experienced trauma. Most of us are walking trauma survivors, numbing our pain through addiction to substances, screens, and work. And new research shows a direct link between childhood emotional abuse and workaholism. So for many people, hi, me, work became the perfect drug of choice. It masks our pain while appearing virtuous. We are financially and socially rewarded when we work more, with raises, promotions, titles, bonuses, and recognition. But long term, workaholism increases risk for burnout, impaired decision-making, and fractured relationships, breeding leaders who lack humanity. Ask yourself, have you ever taken on a project, not because it's needed, but because not being needed feels intolerable? Has your anxiety gone through the roof over a test? Not because of the material, but because of how unbearable it would feel not to get an A. When the work stops, do you feel restless, numb, or empty? That's not drive. That's not ambition. That's workaholism. And workaholism doesn't just exhaust people. It teaches us to mistrust our bodies. And when leaders mistrust their bodies, we lose the very qualities that make us human: creativity, discernment, and empathy. My story isn't just about trauma. That's just one piece of a much larger puzzle. It's about a collision between trauma, science, and economics. A collision that's created a system that thrives on our disembodiment, where we're rewarded when we ignore our bodies and punished when we listen to them. In the 1600s, René Descartes introduced the idea that the mind and the body are separate. I think, therefore I am. The mind became the authority. Our body, our sensations, our intuition was seen as inferior, something to control or fix rather than listen to. Then came capitalism, and the Industrial Revolution loved a Cartesian body. It rewarded productivity over presence. From factories churning out products to stockbrokers churning out profits. We hear versions of this all the time. Mind over matter, optimize performance, power through. We weren't taught to listen to our bodies. We were taught to manage them like machines. And when mindfulness came to the West, it was adapted to fit this system rather than challenge it, teaching us to breathe through the burnout rather than rooting out what burns us. Workaholism is a trauma response our culture rewards. Our economic system has been built on the backs of traumatized overachievers numbing pain through productivity. And I was the poster child. I came from a very long line of successful, work-addicted entrepreneurs. I got my first job at 15, and it didn't take me long to get addicted too. I was the delightful, generous, always smiling employee with a slightly insane work ethic. Free time was terrifying for me. I didn't feel safe if I had nothing to do. Years of overworking later, I start a marketing business, more work addicted than ever. And with every new project and every new problem, my adrenaline would spike. I'd work evenings, weekends, vacations, and every time I stopped, I'd be unsettled and on edge, craving the chaos of work. Then one day, I found myself in relational danger again. Just like that 4-year-old girl in the boat. My heart was racing, I had a pit in my stomach. My mind was so confused, but my body knew. This time, I wasn't powerless. This time, I pulled myself out of the water. You want to know what I did? Nothing. Not one thing. For years, I spent time doing nothing. Here's how it works. Ready? I go outside and I sit in my hammock. I sit and I notice. I notice what's coming up in my body. And I ask, what are you trying to tell me? It's called embodied mindfulness. Embodied mindfulness rebuilds the bridge between the brain and the body, teaching us to notice our sensations and trust what we feel, allowing us to feel the full range of human emotions. While Western mindfulness is a productivity tool that teaches us to tolerate unbearable systems, embodied mindfulness is a rebellion. It's the leadership skill we were never taught. And I'm going to show you 3 simple steps you can take to practice embodied mindfulness. It's very complicated. Are you ready? Step 1, sit. You're already doing it. Oh my goodness, amazing. Step 2, notice. Pay attention to the physical sensations coming up in your body. Maybe you feel tingling in your hands or your feet, or a pit in your stomach, or tightness in your chest. Just notice it. Step 3, get curious and ask, why? Why am I feeling a pit in my stomach? What does it mean? Sit, notice, and get curious. That's it. That's all you have to do. Now, you may think this is strange, boring, or pointless, but that's exactly what a culture obsessed with productivity has conditioned you to feel. What if doing nothing is the key to unlocking our humanity and the key to becoming the leaders our future needs? My whole life I'd been running from pain until I finally stopped and let myself feel it. And truthfully, I was terrified. What if I got overwhelmed and trapped in those feelings? And at first, those feelings were a lot. I remember feeling a freight train in my chest and getting curious and learning. That was the anger. I remember feeling a burning 100-pound weight in the pit of my stomach and learning. That was the shame. And then there were the tears of grief, mourning the person that I could have been. But feeling it didn't trap me. Feeling it freed me. The more I practiced embodied mindfulness, the more I began to trust myself. I started making bold, risky, but values-aligned choices. I walked away from my business. My curiosity returned. I learned playwriting and public speaking. And with courage, I began to use my voice, launching a new mentorship platform for women. And I did it all while working less and spending more time doing nothing at all. Looking back on my experience, a clear leadership pattern emerged. Embodiment led to curiosity. Curiosity led to courage. Courage led to voice. And voice led to embodied leadership. When we allow our mind and our body to stay disconnected, we lose our humanity. And humanity is what we need now more than ever. It's the one thing that separates us from the machines, our bodies. Machines can't feel grief, the hollow ache in the chest. Artificial intelligence can't feel love, the way your heart expands when you hold your child. I feel, therefore I am. My dad's boat still lives in my memory. But now, I step onto the boat, I walk straight to the helm, and I grab the wheel. And I'm not fighting or numbing. I'm free, and I'm safe, and I'm trusted by me. I tell my story so I can heal. I do it for the women who came before me, who never felt safe to tell theirs. I do it for my father, who I loved. Because telling the truth is not a betrayal. Telling the truth brings honor to my family by uprooting the shame that's been passed down for so many generations and burning it down. I tell my story for you, for anyone here who's ever been abused or betrayed or trapped in a system that you didn't even know was there. There's a way out. You don't have to be trapped anymore. So if you're feeling lost or addicted or disconnected or overworked, slow down and spend more time with yourself. Listen. Let your body lead. Thank you.